Sharlyan, civic policy and other matters of import were decided at the eclecia, a public forum at which every citizen was eligible to speak. As the city's population grew, however, this format became increasingly impractical. The larger number of participants gave rise to ever longer debates, resulting in significant delays of vital resolutions. Various measures were introduced in an attempt to curtail protracted discussions. In the year 201 of the 6th Astral Era, it was ultimately decreed that Sharlyan would transition to a new form of governance. The nation would now be led by a body of 99 members, citizens chosen from amongst their peers by means of a nationwide vote. Thus was the Forum, as we know it today, conceived and created.
Why 99? Why not just go for the straight 100?
I don't know. So, because 100 would lend itself too much to the possibility of evenly split votes. 99 is not an even number, so you'll never have a stalemate.
Yeah, there'll always be one more in one category.
Well, that explains.
So even if it's not desirable, something always is being done. Oh, this ain't the one. Hold on, I marked the third one. It's over here. The faded title on the spine reads Stewards of Wisdom. I believe this is the third one. During the chaos of the 6th Umbral Calamity, Archaean founder Sharlyan bore witness to the madness and savagery of men brought to the brink of despair. Upon raising a settlement on an island in the Northern Empty, he instructed his people thus: renounce the ways of war and pursue enlightenment through knowledge and reason. The Sharlyans took to heart the words of their savior and thenceforth served as stewards of wisdom. Upon a foundation of accumulated learning, they built a homeland unlike any other, a nation born from strength of minds rather than strength of arms. With knowledge of economics came shrewd trading. With knowledge of agriculture came bountiful crops. Engineering brought wells and sewers, ending squabbles over water. Wealth of expertise could be bartered for wealth and coin. And the more their wisdom spread throughout the world, the more mankind as a whole would thrive. And so it was that no matter the trials and tribulations of the age, the citizens of Sharlyan would live by their founders' teachings. For the sake of a better tomorrow, for the sake of a brighter star, they would eschew the tools of war and with knowledge deliver the world. We've gained a fundamental understanding of Sharlyan history and the foundation of the Forum. We can now head outside to Rendezvous Point and await our companions.
So is it like they're just taking the whole thing of, like, don't get involved with war or whatever
The
to
difference
heart?
is, their founder built an ark and came to everyone's rescue, didn't abandon them to their fates.
Abandoned the ones that were actually being dicks.
It's literally Noah's Ark, isn't it?
Except in this case, it wasn't a fact of God telling him to do it. He did it himself, and he had a crew that he brought with him. It wasn't just one great guy with a beard and his wife and kid. Sorry, were you waiting long? I wanted to make sure I'd borrowed at least a few promising volumes. Alphino and Cryo should be along shortly. I was delayed in similar fashion. As far as I could see, no titles in the Archon stacks mention the final days specifically, so we have no choice but to start with the tangentially relevant tomes, if there are even that. At present, the plan is to skim through as quickly as we dare and share our discoveries as we make them. Would have been nice to invite everyone to the estate. Plenty of comfortable places to read. Ready supply of hot tea. Oh, I was always quite fond of reading outside. But it's not about the little pleasures, is it? Miss your home.
Do they have whiskey? Thanatos?
It's been difficult. After our arrival, we managed to speak with one of the family servants and ask how things were. Seems our dear father has instructed the staff that even if Alphino and I were to return to Sharlyan, we're not to be allowed across the threshold. Harsh measure indeed. I hope that our efforts to understand his position and that of the Forum will perhaps lead to a reconciliation. We'll mend this rift one day. I'm certain of it. What of you, Graha? Have you been to visit your family, or do they not live here in the city? Ah, well, My situation is also somewhat complicated. I was raised in Sharlyan, yes, but I was born rather further away. In the southern reaches of Ilzabad, in fact. For generations, my people have dwelt in Corvos, the coastal region opposite the island of Thavna. Alligans founded a city in that fertile land, and, by ship, brought in the subjugated tribes of the Mikote to serve as laborers. Of course, the massive earthquakes of the Fourth Umbral Calamity brought an end to the Empire's reign. And when the Fifth Umbral Calamity froze the sea solid, many of the tribes still living in Corvos braved the journey back to Eorzea. My ancestors, however, chose to remain, that they might prevent the remnants of Allagan technology from being misused. Isn't Corvos under Gallian rule? The past 50 years, yes. Some semblance of local culture remains, as is the case for most imperial provinces, but Alamald renamed the region Locus Simonis. When I was a boy, a nearby town came under the jurisdiction of an illustrious imperial family, nobles of House Darnus.
Good boy.
House Darnus demonstrated a singular interest in Allagan civilization, and so my tribe was forced to consider a plan of action. For some time already, voices had been raised in favor of abandoning our ancient customs. After all, the Allagan Eye no longer passed to our eldest children as reliably as it once had. Fear of discovery eventually tipped the scales, and the decision was made to bury our ties to the knowledge and traditions of Allag. As the last child born with the Allagan Eye, I was given over to the custody of friends and the students of Baldessian, who had me registered as a Sharlyan citizen. Never even considered. Forgive me, it was an unkind question. Even Thancred was taken in by Archon Louisois, was he not? Stories of adopted waifs and rescued orphans are more common among Sharlyans than you might think. Yet regardless of our origin, we are all provided an equal opportunity to learn. And with sufficient perspicacity, we outsiders can even earn the vaunted title of Archon. I have no idea what that word was.
Perspicacity, I think?
Whatever it was. That's exactly why I have such love for this country, and why I wish it to remain a nation of which its citizens can be proud. Yeah. Another good reason to get to the bottom of the forum's stubbornness, aside from the trifling matter of our impending doom. Excuse us while we try to make some headway into these books. All company should be arriving any moment now. Yeah, we got to learn where Graha just straight up comes from.
Corvos, an imperial province, probably not for much longer given the Empire is burning.
Yeah.
So you think his family is even alive?
No idea.
More destination.
Let me know when you were at dialogue. Next up is Kyle and Delfino.
Where's Shistola?
He'll be next.
Went back for the pillow.
That's Are you at the dialogue, 80s?
Yes.
Alright. We've returned with our selections. Although I must say, the pickings were quite slim indeed. Mistress Kryl has already flicked through every history book devoted to disasters, and more than a few which barely made mention of them. As such, we'll be looking into research papers on the umbral calamities, as well as articles written by prominent forum members. Perhaps their knowledge of the final days comes from an unexpected source. Speaking of which, might I ask you a few questions related to the final days? I'm the only one here who didn't witness the events of Amarot firsthand, and fear I may be overlooking critical details.
I can tell you stories.
There was fire,
Thanks.
screaming, and a very smug Ascian.
Now, where to begin?
Everything was on fire at the end.
First things first, what kind of phenomena did the ancients encounter as the final days drew nigh?
Primals, and more primals.
Primals
Yeah.
of unrivaled power were summoned from the ether.
Just endless amount of primals, yeah.
As it is, it was a complete destabilization of their creation magic at its core.
Yeah, just
So you want to say
they-
that or the primals?
They was inadvertently summoning endless amounts of primals. Yeah.
Similar, but
So what?
I'm at in the story, they're not quite the same. I've since deduced.
So what do we choose?
I'd go for the...
Top one usually seems to be this is the technically correct one. Middle one is, you're on the right track, but you're a little off. And bottom one is, here's the stupid answer for comedic effect. If you wanted to totally lean into the Warrior of Light being an idiotic goofball.
I'm gonna
So
go for I'm gonna go for the middle one because that seems like more near, like middle of the road, where the top one is definitely Mika because she's a nerd.
Yeah, so I'll go with the top one.
And the bottom one is Thanatos.
Should I do it?
Sure.
Yeah.
If you want.
The worst kind of phenomenon you can imagine.
All right, so we'll read off our responses in order. Alphino said, yes, the unfolding catastrophe wrought havoc on all manner of life. Whereas on Tom's end, he says...
I believe Heidelin Zodiac was summoned after the final days had arrived. Quite deliberately, in fact.
And mine...
Hades?
Well, that is certainly an accurate yet somewhat ambiguous impression.
Ambiguous. Alright. Chaos extended to the ancients themselves, causing their powers of creation to spiral out of control. Fear and despair manifested in terrible, tangible fashion. Meteors raining from the sky, fire erupting from the ground, indescribable abominations prowling the streets. What did yours say?
The first half is different, the second half is the same. Yeah.
To expound upon that explanation, the unfolding catastrophe wrought havoc on all manners of life. The chaos extended to the ancients themselves, causing the process. Okay, I think, that's...
If we are speaking of phenomena caused by the final days, the chaos of creation magics run rampant is what first comes to mind. Fear and despair manifests in terrible, tangible fashion. And then, yeah...
There we go. Alright. Next up, Kyle. That more or less aligns with my understanding. If only the arts of creation had survived until the present day, we might have had something substantial to analyze. To the best of our knowledge, however, these techniques were not preserved or passed on. Stoller surmises that the closest known magic is that of the summoning rituals promulgated by the Asians.
Cryo has another stroke and is once again dead.
Kryl is dead, and with her Heidelin. Anyways. Was a roadhouse of wood... was it... Rebooting?
Cryo, do you need a moment? Do you want to sit down? You need some
Shut
water?
up! Shut up! Was there aught else of note which heralded the approach of the final days? Say it began with a keening sound from the land itself.
I like, Alfred, you can answer this one.
Shall we just go with the middle one?
Yeah, I mean...
Yeah, I'm going with the middle one. I'm not doing the dumb one again.
Yeah. There is one dumb one I would love to do when we get to it, but it's later. It's when we are in Garlemald. But anyway. Ah, yes. The Amarantines spoke of it, didn't they? We never did hear this sound ourselves, of course, thrust as we were into the midst of the madness. But it seems that each and every one of the catastrophes was preceded by this ominous noise. Eventually, it resounded all across the star. Not even Amarot was spared. So the ground was crying out, you say? To be considered the harbinger of doom, it must have been quite distinctive, and probably quite loud. I'll have to speak with one of the Numenon's mammoths, and ask after any books which make mention of such a sound.
And yes, had another stroke.
Shut up.
Last but not least, would you describe how the agents sought to quell this unprecedented calamity? What definitive action did they take? They summoned
Zodiac.
They knocked Galamud out of the sky.
It's hilarious, but it's not right.
They summoned Zodiac.
This is essentially a have you been paying attention test.
Alright, they summoned Zodiac. Yes, with Elidabeth serving as his heart. So many gave themselves in sacrifice to bring him into being. Do not know exactly how Zodiac brought salvation to the star, only that by his godlike will were the laws of nature set aright. And once the balance was redressed, the ancients offered up a further sacrifice to heal the ravages of the final days. Lives sprouted anew, and it was these fledgling souls they intended to render unto Zodiac. trade that would have allowed them to resurrect the shades of loved ones absorbed by the primal. Or might have. Vanar and her fellows not manifested their opposition in the form of Heidelin.
Yeah, the Zodiac saved the world and got peckish.
Thank you, both of you, for the detailed review. I feel much more confident now in my understanding of events. With all that freshly in mind, does make me wonder what the Telophary truly mean when they speak of bringing back the final days. We've seen what they're doing with those towers of theirs. Is forcing people to summon primals a kind of catalyst? Are they attempting to mirror the conditions caused by unstable creation magics? Or are they simply using the final days as a figure of speech? A convenient metaphor for the scale of destruction they plan to unleash? This is all just pointless conjecture at this stage. Let us return our attention to the forum, shall we? Should keep an eye out for your Stola, but 'tis time we begun studying these research papers.
Cat Mom!
Me.
Hey about Zodiac, they summoned a savior and traded one villain for another.
We've traded one villain for another.
I keep forgetting the reference.
Wherefore art thou, Cat Mom? There she is.
Cat Mommy, Cat Mama.
Or me. Bro, what the fuck? I'm the last, am I? Well, my extended search of the Archaean stacks produced one or two possibly useful books. I wouldn't get your hopes up.
I'm pretty sure you should have
You were-
read them.
You can.
She
The
can.
ink has a different etheric signature from the paper. If you recall, Uriange learned of the source's reflections from the Guren oracles. For its potential to cause panic and confusion, the tome was deemed Apocrypha and sealed away in the Great Gubal Library. 'Tis even less likely that knowledge of the unsundered world, not to mention the horrors of the final days, would be left sitting on a shelf for any curious scholar to find. It stands to reason then that my colleagues, be they archons or consulars, should perforce be largely ignorant of the subject. When you confronted Master Fortuno with knowledge of the Telophary and their machinations, he scoffed at the suggestion that they posed a threat. Seemed adamant that the Forum would know if the final days were truly upon us. Which only supports the conclusion that whatever privileged wisdom is guiding the Forum's behavior, it is being kept from the rest of the nation. Not that I mean to excuse myself from reading duty. Whether they contain mention of the final days or no, these books could yet hold something of value. You weren't thinking of leaving, were you? There's plenty of work for everyone.
Cat Mom!
Yes, mother.
Yes, mother. We will help
Yes, yes, Mummy.
Mummy!
I think we should steal other people. Mother.
You late for what feels like an age as you stole this research assistant. I am perfectly okay with this. Kyle.
Oh dear, you look exhausted. What about your studies? Were you able to find any books on the subjects I mentioned?
Mika is beaming happily, Nee is tired but content because Mika is happy. Thanatos is scratching up the walls trying to kill something.
And the day was well spent. Should you wish to read them again, a man at the reference desk will point you in the right direction. For the moment, though, I suggest you take a well-deserved rest. You might be occupied with our research for quite some time. New shoes! Gimme.
Nah, she's.
Laha shoes.
Lappy shoes.
Oh, they're thigh boots.
That's Caligay.
Apparently the shoes aren't as good as the ones I have. Okay.
Which ones were they?
Yours are the... You are wearing, the tombstone boots.
Oh yeah, I am wearing
That tombstone gear will last you until like level 85, so you're good.
I'm an idiot. There you go.
I do want to glamour. I want to see what they look like.
There we go.
There we go.
Ah, they're pretty standard looking boots.
Indeed. No. Fair.
Alpha
Now what are we
Nose
at?
is enjoying a book.
That is. Alize?
What do you say?
Ready for a tea break? I know I am. Honestly, my neck and shoulders are going to calcify if I don't stretch my legs and walk around for a bit. You know the last stand down in the harbor, don't you? Come and meet me near the outside tables, and I'll treat you to their coffee. It's quite good.
Are they biscuits?
So when that first happened, I immediately went into shout chat and declared to all of Sharlyan. So Alize may or may not have just asked my Warrior of Light out on a date. To which there were many exclamations in full caps, largely in the form of people saying shit along the lines of like, "What?" or "Well, I hope your Warrior of Light isn't over the age of 18" and shit like that. Busy as ever, I see. Very Sharlyan that no other gourmet cafe has sprung up to compete for customers. Actually, this crowd gives me an idea. Before we place an order, why don't we ask a few questions and gauge the mood of the city? I'm interested to hear what the average citizen has to say about the Telophary. Might even learn something new. Worth a try, don't you think?
I think this is a very bad idea.
Now that they know something about being in the mood.
Okay, 1 second, because I actually need to pull up a notepad, because we're going to need that in a minute.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. In a couple of minutes, they're going to present us with something where we actually have to commit something to memory. All right, let's talk to Chirondier first. Let's see here. Older guy, blonde, grumpy. Hades, come on.
Oh, right, sorry.
What is it? Could a man not enjoy a moment of private respite? If you're looking to share a table, then I respectfully request you look elsewhere. You must understand, sir. We were simply wondering if you knew of the Telophary, these enemies of the peace of promise and end to all we hold dear, and... Right. That house Leveilleur girl, aren't you? And this individual with you is obviously a foreigner. I heard you were disowned for helping outsiders indulge their barbaric whims. Here you are giving truth to the rumor. Well, thank you to leave me be. I've naught to say to the likes of you.
Excuse me, just,
I must apologize. 'Twas foolish of me to expect an ounce of civility from one so enlightened. Come.
Oh, so Daddy Dearest is already, like, full-on disowned her.
I like how we're the
you
ones
tell
doing
it.
this and then I just walked off.
I just slapped him.
Knee punched him.
See that? It was more like a light jab. I've actually
Anyway.
heard that much. All right,
Fieldwise.
this one.
Female
this is a
Allison
lady.
blonde.
Yes? I don't believe I've had the pleasure. Excuse the interruption, but we were hoping you might share your thoughts on the Telophary and their unconscionable plans. My goodness, if it isn't the young Miss Leveilleur! My apologies, but I work in the offices of the Forum. I've word reached Master Fortuner that I was helping you. You see. Sorry to have bothered you.
Oh my god, I want to punch their father so bad.
You, Hildwa, you're okay. You were polite. You get to live.
And yeah, just stay your hand for now, Hades.
I don't care.
I notice we don't like people being mean to the twins.
Indeed. Welcome. What can I offer you today? Wait. Is that Mistress Alize I see there? My word, how long has it been? Far too long. Meet Dickon, the owner of the Last Stand. I used to frequent his cafe on occasion, in between lessons at the studio.
I absolutely misheard what you actually said there.
What did you think I said?
Meat is eat.
Meat is eat?
I heard you say eat Dickon.
No. I'm Mika right now. I don't do that.
Oh, good. I was getting worried.
Neither do you. Now then. Oh, it seems like an age ago now. I remember hearing that you and Master Alphino had set sail for Eorzea. You never came back. Lately there's been gossip about your father disowning the pair of you. Everything all right at home?
It's complicated. I hadn't expected complete strangers to be so familiar with our situation quite so quickly. Everyone has an opinion, it seems.
Well, it is House Leveilleur. No matter how discreet Master Fortuno may have been, news of your family's doings never stays secret for long. Things being what they are, what brings you back to the city now of all times?
We have questions, and only Sharlyan has the answers. Tell me, Master Dickon, have you heard anything about an apocalypse called the Final Days?
But, like, end of the world? Something like that, I'm afraid. That's all you're here to find? Information on this apocalypse?
Yes, whatever we can learn. Unfortunately, your patrons appear to be unwilling to speak with me.
Wish there was more I could do to help. Maybe there is. You're a visitor to Sharlyan, aren't you? Then few will know your face. We should be able to pass you off as a server with none the wiser. Just finished preparing a few orders. Strike up some friendly conversation while you're setting down the food, and you might just get the answers you're looking for.
Not a bad idea. I hate to ask, but what do you think?
This would be perfect if you were a culinarian.
I'm not wearing that outfit.
You don't have to. That's the spirit. Pay attention now, and I'll explain where each of these dishes needs to go. This is the part where the notepad comes in, because it does not guide you. The tea set is for the chatty group, sitting by the water's edge. Tea set for chatty group by water. The omelette is for one of our regulars, a Highlander by the name of Gisla. She's sitting at an outside table with a friend of hers.
I imagine if you don't write this down, you just need to cycle through them until you get the right one.
Probably, but I just want to get it right on the first try. Again.
So, omelette for Gisla.
Behind them, you should see a Mikote gentleman. He ordered the oven-baked lobster.
Alright, so Mikote gentleman, lobster, omelette for Gisla, and the other one is just for the one that remains.
Right. Got all that? You're not sure? Then just ask and I'll explain again. Ugh.
Alright, here's Gisla over here. She wants an omelette.
Wait, where's Giza?
We gotta do this person here first. Chatty group. So this is the tea person, yes?
Yep. Because lobster is for Mikote, omelettes for Gisla.
Oh, my tea set! Lovely, thank you.
Tell us everything you know.
The Telophary who? I'm sorry, I've never heard of them or their final days. My friends and I are somewhat uninformed when it comes to current events. Now, if you want to hear about ritual arcane practices of the Sixth Astral Era, common or esoteric, I'd be happy to talk your ear off.
Moving on. Omelette.
And omelette.
Isla? Omelette?
Ah, finally! 2, 4, 6, 8. Let's dig in, no time to waste.
Tell me everything you know.
What? Telophary? Oh, yes, I remember seeing the name in the latest Gazette. That and some grand claim about the end of days. Same old senseless warmongering. When these fools grow tired of spilling each other's blood. Just stay out of it, I say. Before I made the right choice, and I'd fully support our decision to remain neutral.
We'll remind you of that when Zodiac is punching you in the face. Anyway.
And... lobster. You can give urbane banter with a smile. No, lobster. last, the oven-baked lobster is mine. You have no idea how long I've scrimped and saved and suffered to afford this heavenly dish. In the meantime, can you tell me everything you know? Final days? This is the first I've heard of it. Although that would explain why my friend has been rushed off his feet. It'll be a busy time to be a gleaner.
A gleaner?
You don't know what a gleaner is? They're, collectors of a sort. Travel the world, procuring things that we haven't got here in Sharlyan. Priceless books, unusual live specimens, and so on and so forth. So named for those folk who trail after the reapers in the fields, picking up every grain which was missed. Aye, by all accounts, gleaning is a most meticulous and demanding profession. These Telophary make good on their audacious threats, and many uncatalogued rarities could be lost forever. Also, the gleaners be buzzing about in such a frenzy. Watch the harbor, and you'll see what I mean. They're conning loads in from the docks all day. It's never been this hectic before. Like this.
I'm starting to wonder if they know the final days is coming, and they built... This whole place was started with an arc, yes?
Yeah.
I'm wondering...
I'm
wondering whether they have some sort of plan to save themselves. They're gonna go sending gleaners out to collect certain things, specimens, animals, etc. I'm gonna leave the rest of us to die while they fuck off somewhere else.
It's the same conclusion I came to at first.
Any trouble with the customers? Were you able to get anyone talking?
Only about the gleaners.
Interesting. You seem unaware of the final days, aside from whatever vague news the gazettes are printing. Even Dickon had nothing to offer, and he's the best source of gossip in the city. If the Forum does have secret knowledge, then they've done an impressive job of ensuring no one whispers it in the wrong ear. In any case, thank you for playing the part so well. Cup of coffee, I promised. Let's enjoy our drinks somewhere else, shall we? Go behind the peristyle, away from the gossip and the wagging tongues.
Text auto advance?
When our father disowned us, I couldn't believe what I was hearing. It wasn't until much later that his words began to sink in, that I began to feel the weight of what it meant. Do you remember when the decision was made to come to Sharlyan? Grahas said that the Forum was determined to keep us in the dark, and that Father's venomous performance was part of that strategy, to keep us at arm's length. Perhaps it was. Father argued with Grandfather on many occasions, but never with such dismissive contempt. And when he demanded what justifies the sacrifices we make in war, I honestly didn't know what to say. Neither did Alpha know, I know, but never for one moment did I believe we had made the wrong choice. So all I could do was fume silently. It was only afterwards that I realized how childish I had been. How being stubborn and self-righteous must run in the family. If I could have just mustered a civil response, then things might have turned out differently.
Hello there.
Gleaners.
They must be ferrying goods to Labyrinthos.
Nani?
A vast complex beneath the island. Sharlyan is famous for archiving knowledge from around the world. Well, that knowledge is not preserved exclusively in dusty tomes and desiccated samples. Our living library, comprised of all manner of flora and fauna, is housed and studied within that underground facility. Still, that did seem to be an unusually large shipment. When I lived here, it was rare to even see such cargo transported by boat. Wait,
They're packing.
didn't you hear something in the last stand about the gleaners coming and going more than usual? Well, I think they're the ones we saw manning those boats. And gleaners answer to the forum. If the appearance of the Telophary prompted this sudden burst of activity, then Labyrinthos may hold a clue as to what the forum is planning.
Yeah. I just need to wait for people to load in and things to progress. Excuse you. Belch and burp and
Yeah, right now my next scenario quest is question mark, question mark, question mark. There we go.
it's loading.
Question mark, question mark, question mark.
Ah, here we are.
Alize's right here.
A labyrinthine descent.
We should tell the others what we've learned about the gleaners. Go on ahead to the Numenon, and I'll join you in a moment. Master Dickon will want his cups back.
Okay. The sound effects.
It just felt like doing something stupid.
Alize would punch you.
I already kind of butchered Alize's voice on that particular line, so I just decided to roll with it.
Interesting.
Is you already in the cutscene? Wait for me, Jesus! Ah!
Waiting you on dialogue.
Well, then hurry up.
Turning off.
Alright, I'm at the dialogue.
Go.
Sacrael and Katamum.
Come back. In for a walk and cleared your head, have you? Not exactly. You did some impromptu investigating and turned up information on the gleaners.
Wah, 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 wah.
Wah, wee, wah, wah, wah. Huh. Uh-huh.
It makes sense. The gleaners take their requests directly from institutions and bureaucrats. But as you say, they ultimately answer to the forum. A sudden and significant increase in gleaner traffic and in cargo. It certainly gives the impression of an overarching plan being put into motion. Let's see what theory we can build from the facts. As Ishtola observed earlier, Numenon's archives appear to contain no information concerning the final days. Coupled with what the Warrior of Light and Alize learned at the last stand, we can be reasonably sure that most Sharlyans know nothing of that particular period of ancient history. My father and his colleagues are not only familiar with the final days, but are also somehow certain that the destruction being perpetrated by the Telophary is wholly unlike these apocalyptic events. Moreover, the Forum claims to be so occupied by a duty of such pressing importance that they saw fit to unanimously deny Eorzea's request for aid. And now the Gleaners, official agents of the state, have been mobilized on an unprecedented scale. I do not think it is stretched to conclude that the Gleaners' recent activities are in service to the Forum's secretive ends. One moment, I'm taking off my belt, it's constricting my airflow a bit. Ah, there we go, that should make it a bit easier to breathe and narrate. In which case, our next course of action seems obvious.
You finally got the Endwalker update, didn't you? You removed your belt.
Right.
But that joke came to me way too late. But there you go. I feel like I've unimpressed you.
Yeah, that's a word for it. Alright.
What's that?
Alright.
In which case, our next course of action seems obvious. We visit Labyrinthos and assess the situation for ourselves. And if we're lucky, the gleaners will be far more receptive to our questions.
What do we say?
I feel like the third one will be what Thanatos would say.
I'm also fairly certain that's going to get you glares.
Probably.
I'm going to go for the middle one.
Yeah, that's the one I went with.
I'm curious what would happen if I actually just said the third one.
Do it.
Go for it if you want. You can tell us.
Fuck it.
We're playing our characters. Do what your character would say.
All right, so since Tom and I chose the majority, let's hear what Hades had got
Carl
first with the
says,
joke.
I understand not everyone is the studious type. Consider this a welcome change of pace, then.
All right. Anyways, as for what Carl said for the rest of us,
Oh, I would hate to spoil the surprise.
as for myself, there are a few more subjects I should like to research. I may join you later, but feel free to leave behind your borrowed books and be on your way. I'll see to it that each is returned to its proper place.
That would be a great help. Thank you, Raha. Let's head down the stairs over there, and I'll show you where the entrance is.
This is the part where we get to chase Alize.
What?
We'll see. There are also sequences where we get to stalk people, but I'll let you discover those on your own.
I did hear something about that. That people don't like someone.
Stealth elf.
I am the stealth elf. I should be good at this. God.
All right.
Ready? Labyrinthos is not too far from here, but you may find the path a bit disorienting. I'll take the lead, so stay close. Off we go then.
We'll start off at a walk. I just have her as my focus target, so I can just...
This is what I do on the keyboard unless I press this button. There we go.
Huh.
Went
Right.
through-
The weather patterns seem to be very out of whack. Alright.
Here we are. Through this door, and down the stairs. You did remember to attune to the shard back there, didn't you? It'll make your life much easier if you need to come back in a hurry. Otherwise, we should keep moving.
It's a goal.
Let's go!
Yeah, for a while I
Alright.
can see it's a big
Trial.
pain in the ass to do it, though.
Yeah, it'd be fun.
We're all here now, yes? I've taken the liberty of securing permission for our group's descent. Right, everyone onto the lift, and down we go.
So, I don't get it. We're only allowed on one floor in the library, but yet they don't mind us going down into the labyrinth thing where everything else is stored?
We only have access to a certain part of Labyrinthos, too.
I'm
Its
sure.
lowest level is also off limits to everyone.
Yeah, but what they don't know won't hurt them until it does.
That sounds like everything ever.
Deep beneath the scholar's city shines a false sun with a
I am
fabricated
it.
sky. In any age exist those who consider the floor an extension of their bookshelves, and this vault's architects surely belonged to that special breed. If the stack grows too high, start a new one. If no room remains, then make more
Sheep.
rooms. A simple solution at first, and then bit by bit, a profound transformation.
Isn't this the new Animal Crossing thing?
I don't know.
Like, you can raise, like, an animal farm.
That's like an island sanctuary. This is underground. Yeah, the island sanctuary isn't here.
Not what you expected. I must admit, the artifice is very convincing. But I assure you that we are beneath Sharlyan itself. The breeze you feel, the flowing waters you hear, all created by the hand of man.
The island is volcanic, you see.
The rain.
And once upon a time, this great hollow must have been a reservoir for
Got
magma.
a sprinkler system for that rain.
It was discovered some 400 years ago, at which point it was repurposed as a storage facility for scrolls and samples and such. Renovations have continued, with nigh or no interruption to this day, with the lower levels still undergoing expansion.
Aren't those people gleaners?
I see a cat boy. Not a cat boy, bunny boy. The other eerie one.
Aye, judging by their dress. They are said to work alone as a rule, but 'twould seem that rule is being enthusiastically broken today. It may be as you suspected, that they are engaged in a task apart from the norm.
Let's spread out and get some answers then.
Kyle. Wait, is she hearing Heidelin too?
He has the echo.
He does, yeah.
Did you call to me just now?
Remember, the fake echo that Xenos has was taken from her.
I must be a bit dizzy from the descent. I'll be fine.
So is Heidelin calling to all of those
Let's
who
get
have
to
the echo?
work, shall we?
She's always been able to do that. That's kind of the thing about having the echo.
So how come we didn't hear it?
He doesn't want to talk to us at the moment.
I mean, she
One
already
possible
talked.
explanation.
She already
Plus,
talked to us.
she outright said she's struggling to communicate with people right now because she's very weak. So, multiple people is probably difficult.
Probably. I'm starting with this guy over here. Dobin.
Ah, I forgot Nuke was naked. So we have our companions in this zone.
Yep. We can use mounts here too.
Oh,
Yeah, it's a full zone.
Yeah, there's
Alright.
3 Aetherites, I can see. Fates as well, so dangerous things here apparently.
Yeah. All right. Well, yeah, they got like samples of wild animals and strange creatures. They try to keep it as natural environment as possible. Anyway, want to know what I'm doing? Hauling books. And ore. Fauna. It's hauling. I haul it. Every decade or so, they take stock in Labyrinthos. You know, sort and tidy up the inventory. Never seen an operation like this before, though. Just did one a few summers ago, even. And with no warning at all, this mess gets dropped in our laps. Orders from on high. And if I know the reason, could be they're changing the layout, eh? Going for the next big expansion. Heave!
Bees.
Let me think. Raya seed should be item 1058, cumin seeds 1059, snurbbleberry 1060, or are they 1061? Ah!
This is me.
My head feels like it's stuffed with muckle grass. And more loads to take out than carry in. Why do all this at once and risk mixing it up? If someone makes the curds and carrots or the carrot body and carrots, then
We have some carrots.
Carrots. Odd carrots.
I don't like carrots.
I like carrots.
I like carrots.
I don't.
Yeah, this is a
This is an
bunny boy.
accent to things. Alright, and Aaronville.
Bunny.
Here to help or give more headaches. You don't have the look of a gleaner, and I'm in no mood for idle chatter. One of my colleagues was so exhausted he took a tumble and crashed into a pile of crates. I have a pack of marmots running loose.
Speaking of, in this zone. Yep, 350 yards to the east.
There you the currents here.
If they've reduced, by the way, quite significantly. You might need to collect in every zone.
Yeah, I mean, it seems to be the same as what I'm used to. Like 5 quests and then whatever you have to run around
There's
to find.
4. There's still 5 quests, they're always that, but then you need to find 4 Aether Currents in a zone. That's it.
It's news to me.
Yep, I noticed that as
Any
available.
luck? Any luck? What else did the gleaners have to tell?
Stuff.
that one, and that one.
So this grand operation began without warning? And for every item they bring in, sending more inventories somewhere else? I'd explain the haggard faces I've been seeing. You're right. The Forum is definitely up to something. They're turning Labyrinthos upside down in the process.
Next quest.
We would do well to learn more of what specifically the gleaners are being tasked to do, as well as who has tasked them to do it. If you're game, I have an idea.
I love how I have to lean down.
Didn't one of the gleaners you questioned say something about escaped marmots? Perhaps if you were to help him capture said creatures, you might be inclined towards a more friendly and enlightening conversation. In the meantime, I will turn my charms upon this gleaner here. We can compare notes afterwards. Happy hunting!
Who can resist the charms of Alana?
Especially one as
Oh yeah,
mischievous.
speaking of that, hold on. Oh, you beat me to it. Oh.
Mine is bigger than yours.
Same size,
Mine's cooler.
actually.
Yeah, let's ride in Thanatos just because he has it, and we can see it ourselves. I got seat 1.
I love this sea. I didn't see it's available before. It's great. Hey, what you doing? Thanatos, what you doing? Mika, what's Thanatos doing?
I have... No, come back! Pull that back out! I was gonna sit...
Seat 3.
Aaronville. You wish to help me find the marmots? Nothing suitable to pay you for your services, but if you're offering out of the goodness of your heart, I'd welcome the assistance.
Leave it to me.
Her name is Aaronville, friend. Specialist in the collection of live specimens. That said, the capture of these Naxian marmots is a trial I've no desire to repeat. Grizzled mice, they call them. What a mercy. There are no other marmot species on this tier at present, so there should be no mistaking our little fugitives. If you happen to catch any, stuff them in this sack. Gently, of course. Where to begin, you wonder? I've not seen any scampering around here, so we'll need to widen our search into the surrounding forest. On your guard. There are beasts out there that won't hesitate to prey on a marmot or you. I'll search the trees to the west. The eastern part of the forest is yours. Good luck. Which Uber do we want?
Oh,
Well, probably the big one when it flies, but for the moment. Hey, Thanatos, what are you doing?
and now Mika's just looking at you like, what are you doing?
Hey, Mika, what's he doing? What do you think he's doing?
I'm in the car, obviously.
Are we there yet? Hey, Thanatos. Are we there yet?
Yes.
Ow!
Oh, it's over there.
So trolls are just big dogs.
Coyote.
Alright.
Coyote.
Hey, new combat theme.
Have my battle music turned off.
Bloodletter works differently now. It has 2 charges and a much shorter cooldown. It's a recharge thing.
Grizzled mouse. Hello there.
Come back here, you little shit. Damn it! I let it go. It didn't go far. Let's run after it. Nah.
Don't worry, little guy. Do not mind the big dragon.
Go away, you're boring. Alright, I'm being attacked by a troll. This truly is the
Don't feed it.
Anyway, where is the little trade pack? Oh, there's one. Hey, don't attack Thanatos, that's my job. Friends only.
Hey, where's the little shiny
Next one's
basket?
down here.
Avela has a Garuda horse.
My main Warrior of Light has the Curin. Which you can only get from having all of the ponies.
Little ponies?
Doing a special quest.
I really would like to have the mechanical dragon thing.
Gotta do the extremes for Shadowbringers for that.
For Shadowbringers, yeah. I know, I tried.
Get in my bag.
Get in this rat sack.
God damn it.
The rodent nimbly evades your grasp before once more disappearing into the trees. This is our
Hi-ya.
greatest adversary yet.
Hey, I got on the roulette. Woohoo!
I'm just flying my peacock.
I love this music.
I don't have mount music enabled.
I am so glad I spent all that
Would you be amazed to say that the mount music for the whale is the lunar whale music from Final Fantasy IV?
I know.
I think it's all the way up there.
Yeah. Means we need to go to the left to go to the right.
And Mika's being attacked.
Meek, hands
Of course
off my
of course I
Mika.
Eat my salt that I now put on the ground.
Oh, trust me, he has lots to spare.
Tone, I'm upset.
Why?
They ruined Delirium.
Really?
I only get 3 stacks of it instead of just a constant where I can spam Blood Spiller.
Mm.
I am upsetty.
Spaghetti.
Well,
Now get in the fucking sack.
your sucks, you are.
Or prepared for its speed this time. You succeed in closing the sack over your elusive quarry. Hunt succeeded.
Na 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 na. Uber's here. Well, you're making me choose, but I mean, for me, there's only one choice, unless she sleeps on the couch sometime.
Me. I don't think Sid would approve of what I'm doing to the car.
To be fair, it's not Sid's car. It's well, he made it, didn't he? So replica of Noctis's.
Technically,
Yeah.
Sid did make it.
Yeah, he made this replica of Noctis's car.
If anything,
At the very least, at the very least, the Ironworks made it.
yeah. If anything, the ones who should be annoyed are the Lucian royal family because they got their copyright infringed.
Oh my god, it was such a pain in the ass to get enough for this.
Almost 200,000, wasn't it?
Yes.
Alright there, Rendezvous. How did you fare? I tracked down 3 of the pack, which leaves 1 unaccounted for. Here you go. Ah, there's the odd man right out.
He's
Here a
dick.
moment while I put our...
I said to him it was a dick.
Wait here while I put our friends in a holding cage. Thankfully, the Monomits seem to be unharmed. They've held up well in isolation, but it's much too soon to release them into the habitat. Good thing we were able to recapture them so swiftly. You have my thanks. How do we ask our questions?
Well, I think,
Because we already know that it's probably the forum.
yeah, so what will happen to them?
Yeah, I'll just go to the bottom one.
I picked that. Well, that's for the Forum to decide. They're the guiding authority behind Labyrinthos, after all, and this job was but one small part of this great inventory of theirs. Suitable for consumption and easy to breed. Those were the two conditions I was given for the stock I was instructed to procure.
A food source.
I don't know what the Forum has planned for these creatures, but at the very least, I doubt they'll be served for dinner today or tomorrow.
After that, though.
There you are. Is this the gleaner you mentioned? Who was looking for lost moments?
Yep. Interesting company you keep, friend. Who are you folk, anyway?
I'm Kryl of the Students of Baldessian. These others are my associates. And truth be told, the Forum's decisions of late have not sat entirely well with us. That's why we made the descent into Labyrinthos. We hope that by seeing those decisions put into action, we might more fully understand their reasoning.
Why isn't practical? Never hurts to try and gain a broader perspective, does it? Anyway, duty calls. Other animals to capture and enclosures to empty. Once again, I'm sorry that I can't offer you more for your services.
Did you learn anything new from your friend there?
Boots and pants. I learned about boots and I learned about pants.
Also, they want to eat those furry things.
So, we've confirmed that the order for this ambitious operation did indeed come directly from the Forum. But the gleaners have not been informed of its purpose. I'd say that fits with everything we've heard thus far.
We also discovered when the operation was begun. Forum contacted the Gleaners Guildship and put their people to this great work some 4 days after the Telophary made their chilling declaration. As seasoned travelers, the Gleaners keep abreast of news from every corner of the world out of necessity. So I'm inclined to trust that their calendar of events is accurate.
Altogether, it gives the distinct impression that this undertaking was a sudden and unexpected development. I find it hard to believe that such a comprehensive restructuring of Labyrinthos and its archives could have been planned in so brief a window. Nay, this plan was long in the making. They were but awaiting the right time to put it into effect. And the Telophary's declaration was what set it all in motion? It seems likely. Let us not leap to conclusions just yet. For the moment, I suggest we conduct a wider investigation of Labyrinthos. The more facilities we visit, the more pieces of the puzzle we stand to find. In that case, how about we head to the Archaean? From there, we can reach the lower... Kryl! What's wrong? I'm fine. Truly. The sudden descent has left me with a bit of a headache, that's all. I think that will stop me from soldiering on. Let's be about it then.
At least allow me to take the lead. I'm fairly certain I remember the way to the Archaean. You follow the path east, through the forest where you were chasing after that mouse. Well, marmot, was it? Anyway, there's the trolls you need to watch out for.
Heidelin is being very pushy.
Trying to tell Kryl something, but isn't quite being able to.
Maybe she's not strong enough.
That's exciting. She's driving a car alongside Midgard Zorma, the father of dragons. This is normal.
Or at least a body that he made for himself that doesn't have his will in it anymore, because Omega.
Yeah. Midgard is
Interestingly enough, while I won't say the specifics, if you did the Omega questline, that actually gets addressed a bit later on.
Well,
in a main
Omega
cutscene,
is
like actually mentioned.
I mean, Omega is chilling out with Alpha right now in a tiny little toy.
Yeah, like the fate of Midgard Zormer specifically gets addressed.
He's sleeping, and in the 8th Umbral Calamity aborted timeline, he woke up. Helped out.
Anyways. Behold, the Archaean. As Numenon serves as Sharlyan's literary archive, so does this structure house the city's worth of material data. The architecture, too, is similar. The building you see is merely the upper entrance, an access point to the vaults carved into the cliffside itself. Within those vast rooms are stored countless samples and specimens, as well as the detailed records which describe them. In a manner of speaking, the Archaean contains a physical history of Sharlyan's unwavering dedication to the accumulation of knowledge. Etherite, etherite, etherite.
That's fine. Let's just forget about it. What could go wrong?
Is that a Cerberus?
That is a Cerberus.
You can get a Cerberus mount. I forget how, but you can get a Cerberus mount.
That's not the same Cerberus we killed in the in the World of Darkness, is it?
Pretty sure it is, or at least it looks very similar.
I always hate that fight.
Also, I love how the
Get
I also
balls.
love how the towns and I also love how the little settlements in this zone have the Great Goobo Library theme.
Well, it's Sharlyan stuff. So this is... yeah.
This is the Great... No, this isn't the Goobo Library theme. I think it's the Anti-Tower theme?
Sharlyan,
Either way, it's a Sharlyan theme.
Either way, hat.
Well, we won't learn anything of value standing out here. Let's proceed into the main building and speak with the custodian. Hold your hand.
Doesn't it feel weird that we're actually playing this for so fucking long?
It's been a while
Right.
since we've done story shit.
Yeah.
It's up-to-date story stuff.
Hello,
Or even I'm not entirely sure about where it's all going. I'm sitting. Already taking some turns.
There's a frog over there.
Yes.
Like we're toy
Greetings.
frogs.
We are here to pursue the Archaean's vaults. Ruse? Clearly not gleaners then. They ask your affiliation.
Belong to the students of Baldessian, but is that relevant? I was given to believe that the vaults, those open to the public at least, were, well, open to the public.
Ordinarily, yes, that would be the case. At present, however, access is restricted. Only persons directly involved in the reorganization efforts are permitted to enter.
Not us, then. Suppose we had better move along to another facility. This building has a lift which connects to the middle tier, yes? Might we at least make use of that?
That service has also been suspended, I am afraid. For the time being, priority has been given over to the conveyance of inventory.
What, so this is as far as we can go?
I apologize for the inconvenience. Please come again after our restructuring operation is concluded.
Yeah, that's when the world is
Yeah,
ended.
By that time, it will be too late. We're so close to getting answers. Need to rethink our approach. Let us step outside for a moment, shall we?
By your leave, Master Matoya.
Students of Baldessian.
Oh boy. He's got in trouble then. He's
This
gonna
place is getting-
dob us in.
This place is worse than Ishgard.
We like
No, it's
Ishgard.
not.
Oh, I mean, we like Ishgard. Ishgard's practically the Warlight's home at this point.
It is.
Yeah.
How would I say this place is worse than what was the city in Shadowbringers with all the fat cat people?
Yulmore.
Yulmore.
Before
Yulmore.
we
And this
kick-
is nowhere near as bad as Yulmore.
I mean,
Yes, it is.
again, we have a habit of fixing places like this. I mean, Yulmore, we kicked Wolf
Anyway.
3 out, then Alphino gave a rousing speech, and things were fine.
Anyways,
We are at an impasse. As we have no other leads, I should like to pursue this one further. I doubt that our stone-faced custodian will be swayed by heartfelt pleas. Seek another means to access the lower levels. It is likely that the people in this area are involved in the restructuring in one way or another. If we were to ingratiate ourselves, they might allow us to accompany them on the lift. Let us ask around. Surely someone is in need of a few strong backs to lighten the load.
so a bit of busy work it is then. There's a gemstone trader over here, by the way, if you want to talk to them.
Gemstone trader. What does he do?
You do fates to get multicolored gemstones, which you
Oh.
can then trade there. That was the same feature. That was the same system that was in Shadowbringers. Remember?
I mean, I knew about
To make fates more significant and appealing.
I mean, I knew about those stones. I just never realized that's what they were for. It's one of those things that's neat, because, you know, I just never touched the side content that's neat, except the ones I've done with you guys. That's what the whole reason I made a Veiler was just to do the story at my own pace. Whereas,
All right, let's talk to this bemused student, Rugadin woman.
Am I taking the lift? Oh no, we're just students. Haven't let us into the Archaean even though we found... Actually, we have no idea what it is we found. There's no record of such a creature anywhere. But it was wandering around Tranquility, and so we thought to donate it to the vaults.
I'm assuming that's what it sounds like.
What is that a squeal, don't you think? Anyway, I suppose we'll have to take care of it until the Archaean is open again.
now I'm curious, what did they find in there?
Don't know. I have not gotten to any part where that might be revealed.
I was half expecting them to go, that is our good bell, or something.
Or even
I mean, I have a
better,
suspicion on what it might possibly be, but it wouldn't make sense for it to be that, so
Well,
I'm not going to
it
say.
could be Kate Sith.
No, I'm not going to say anything about what it might be. And just in case I'm right, it would be a massive spoiler, but
Well,
I'm
it's
probably
theory
wrong.
crafting, so just say it. I'll just you to say it.
It's stuff you haven't gotten to yet. This is me theorizing based on foreknowledge. Anyways.
Maybe moon cacti. That, see,
What's
'cause
that?
that was in the patch notes.
What? Take you down on the lift with me? Sorry, but not a chance. I've been up and down all day, and only now have I finally found a spare moment to rest. I did see a gleaner fellow heading out the gate there, though. Shouldering a large pack. Engaged in some manner of task. Maybe he'll be headed down below after he's done with whatever it is he's doing. Right, so we're chasing a pack-bearing gleaner.
Come back, warrior of light. What are you doing? Grab shotgun. Moon cactars. What? Cock shotgun. Moon cactars.
Moon's haunted.
What the fuck?
It's warrior of light things.
Oh, it's Aaronville.
Yeah. Boing. Poof. Remember the Doman darts minigame?
Hi, Annabelle. Don't mind the void scent.
Quiet. We'll frighten it away. Ah, it's you again. Don't mean to be rude, but I'm in the middle of another task. The cloudkin I need to capture is close. Very close. Any help? You wish to help me with this too? You spend your time in unusual ways, my friend. Still, 200 are generally better than one. Well, Canal here is a common gathering spot for birds of all kinds. But the one I'm after today is the hornbill. Its feathers are green, and its cry a distinctive caw. Single it out and shoot it with the sleeping dart.
It's just gonna be that,
The Doman dart game, yeah. The effects are short-lived, so I'll lie in wait down by the riverbank to claim our quarry. Be sure to hit the right one.
So it said green feathers and makes a caw sound.
Yes. As I recall, sort of like,
Do you remember where it is?
I think it's the large green bird.
Oh, yeah, it's the green one over here.
I'm loading in. Where? There's. Whack, whack.
Damn it.
Cuckoo.
Got it.
Caw.
Got it.
Nailed it.
This cutscene is voiced.
Right. So. Happy emote.
So what does he sound like? Oh,
Fair shot.
I've been trying to emulate his voice.
Nicely done. Let me truss this one up, and I'll make my way over to you.
That's probably butchering the accent, but you know.
Close enough.
There you are. Any new revelations?
Green barb. Shot it.
Duck season.
So you met with that gleaner again, this time to capture a hornbill. I understand catching and bringing in creatures from the outside, but what's the point of chasing after ones already here?
Oh, it's a simple thing, really. Occasionally, we remove specimens no longer needed for study, or those we've had difficulty raising. But we can't simply turn them loose. Safely returning such creatures to their native habitats is another facet of a gleaner's duties. But not in this case, I'm afraid. I've been asked to bring the bird below.
The restricted section in the lower levels of Labyrinthos. Open only to a select few researchers handpicked by the Forum. The projects down there are the subject of rumor and hearsay. Forbidden magics. Advanced technologies that can never be allowed to fall into outside hands. Even Archons are not privy to the truth.
51.
Those who are, the researchers involved in this secretive work, are not permitted to walk freely in the city, and are instead required to live in isolated quarters.
What could a facility subject to such strict security protocols possibly need with a hornbill? An experiment?
Possibly. I wasn't afforded an explanation. But judging by the requisition list given to me and my colleagues, I doubt it's for any kind of advanced research. I'd be more inclined to believe we were making preparations to migrate to the south. Mericidia or thereabouts.
What? Why would you say that?
Much of the flora and fauna we were asked to procure could serve as reliable sources of sustenance. They're comparatively hardy species too, able to endure harsh climates. And among them are specimens known to be effective in improving soil quality and purifying water.
When you put it that way, migration does sound like a reasonable assumption.
That's all it is, though. An assumption. Through our tasks, we gleaners glimpse only bits and pieces of the Forum's plans. Our prime concern is that our requisitions, be they living or otherwise, are properly preserved for the knowledge of future generations. Now, I really must be going. I regret that I cannot reward you as you deserve.
Perhaps you might reward us after a fashion then. It is imperative that we reach the lower levels. And seeing as you are already set to descend with your assigned cargo, mayhap we could accompany you as your assistants.
I'm afraid that won't be possible. Once the animals have been prepared for transport, we send them down separately via the lift. I will of course follow after to make my report, but I can hardly pass you off as porters when there's nothing left to carry.
Indeed. Pray forget I said anything.
How do you feel about climbing? If you've strength and the courage to brave it, then there is another way down. This path leads to the 33rd facet, a mine shaft excavated during one of our expansions of Labyrinthos. While I cannot guarantee that the passage is safe to traverse, it should provide access to the medial circuit below.
I never even knew such a place existed. Thank you. This is the perfect solution.
At least Kryle's enjoying
You're
herself.
quite welcome. But consider yourselves warned. If the going proves too treacherous, you do well to turn back.
I like
Have a
him.
good day.
He's a good
he's
bunny
cool.
boy.
I like how we basically just said, oh, we're planning to break into the most restricted place in all Sharlyan, and he was like, yeah, climb down. It's cool.
Well, turning back is hardly an option, not when we've come this far. Let's go and take a look at this mine shaft.
He's a very chill guy, isn't he?
Yeah.
Hey, he's not paid to stop us. And is he really? And if he, even if he was going to try to stop us, could he really?
Oh.
Considering who we have with us.
There's also the small fact that we helped him twice, so he probably got and he's the sort of person who travels all over, so he probably knows how to read people, and he reads that we have no ill intentions.
Yeah, we want to figure out if the Sharlayans do. Like, they're clearly planning on running away somewhere. Do they intend to abandon everyone else, or do they have some sort of sample population saving majig? I mean, we have to get the spaceship from somewhere to get to the moon. So I wonder if they're just planning to hop planets. We're gonna nick it for a moon holiday. Gotta get there somehow. Said that the planet's doomed, so they're gonna leave the planet rather than try and save it.
This must be it. The entrance to the mine shaft. It's faint, but I hear something moving within. Creatures home there by the researchers, you think? Slavering beasts aside, we will need to watch our footing. We should tighten our straps and such before we continue.
Hat.
On which note, I need to be right back again, because once again I need to pee.
Alright.
Right.
And it is also starting to get on towards my lunchtime, so I'm also going to get myself some nuggets going in the air fryer. So I'll be back in.
Maybe two. As a heads up, I have about 2 hours.
Okay.